why the Bitcoin 4-year cycle is actually broken and why we will go so much higher even in Q1 of 2026. So if you want to know where we are actually going to top out and not by the end of Q4, then you should definitely not miss this episode. And let's go, guys. Guys, I cannot explain to you how happy I am that I finally have figured out how to properly stream here on multiple platforms. It was quite a fight for me today to do that here last minute before I actually came online. But I did it. I did it. At least I hope I did it. Let me quick check here. Did I do it? Am I? Yeah, I did it. I did it. So everything is fine here. So guys, I will jump directly into the charts because I have so much content prepared. It's crazy, you know, it's crazy. I just want to walk you through here really quickly. You see, this is a lot of content that we have to get through today. So I try to condense this as much as I can because I have also a clock ticking when I need to leave. So let's get straight into it here. So the DXY is pumping here, surprisingly a little bit to the upside. I don't know, I did not really look into the reason for that, why we are going up today. It could be Trump made an announcement or something. I have no clue what happened here. But overall, as long as we are not going over 99 points, nothing really to worry about. We need to look at the DXY a little bit closer when we actually start going over 99 points. But as long as we are not doing that and just going a little bit sideways here, everything is fine and we should keep the downwards trajectory. I'm also going to show you in a moment why I believe that the dollar will crash like crazy in the short term, and in the midterm. There are some signs on the horizon for that. So the amount of Bitcoin held by exchanges is dwindling at a dramatic pace here. Look how much, how insanely sharp here the amount of Bitcoins held by exchanges is going to the downside. I actually ran the math earlier, how much percent exchanges right now are holding on exchanges. It's 11.7%. If you remember back the last time when we talked about this, this was over 20% just 2-3 months ago. So it almost halved in a matter of 2-3 months, which is absolutely insane, and it keeps getting lower. There is even now communiques out there, like memos, that are from people working at the exchanges, insiders so to speak, that are saying they are running day by day out of all the Bitcoins that they have. They cannot fulfill the demand anymore that's in the market. There are exchanges. I spoke myself to one OTC desk. I will not name them. They are telling me they're open at 9 a.m. their local time. By 2 p.m. they have no Bitcoins anymore to sell. And they have to close the desk at 2 p.m. for the last 8 days. Working days, not weekends included because they don't work on weekends. But for so basically for the last 11, 12 days, including weekends, every single day around 2 p.m. they have no Bitcoins anymore. So and there's just one big OTC platform. It is a really big one, not like a boutique small one. Again, I will not tell the name, but that just shows you the crazy demand that is there for Bitcoin right now and why the price will actually keep going up. And that this will not stop. As long as here the Bitcoin reserves on exchanges are dwindling to the downside, price will just keep going higher. So, but why do I believe the 4-year cycle is broken? So one indicator that I showed yesterday was the bull market peak indicator. So and all 30 of them have not fired yet. None of them here hit zero. And that gave me to think yesterday where I was like, what if I have a different look at the market and the market is actually telling me that we are now in a different cycle. And the reason for that is, for example, that we have now ETFs and institutions and MicroStrategy and all these other companies buying that were not buying before. So now when I look here at old setups, so basically this setup is still accurate. So here, when we are following the market cycle psychology, then we are right now in the frill stage. People get excited, you know, we are over $125,000. Yeah, that's where we went yesterday. Everybody's super excited, but we are not in the euphoria phase yet. After euphoria comes complacency, and that is usually where the final top is in. And also in this cycle, I believe that we are going to see here a double top before we are seeing another bigger correction, or that we are starting a small bear market here. So, and here I believe that the euphoria stage will start when we break convincingly $150,000. That is what I believe, when euphoria will kick in and people go absolutely crazy and will call for $200,000, $250,000, $300,000 Bitcoin at that moment when we are breaking above that, because first people will think, oh, here's the top. Somewhere $150,000, $160,000. The majority of crypto Twitter believes that that is where the top is. I'm not agreeing with that anymore, but I'm gonna show you also here in a second why everybody's so convinced about this. So we come up here, maybe correct, or most obviously we're gonna correct a little bit, but then we go up here again, and then we go higher. And I'm usually right with my long-term predictions. You can go back. Unfortunately, I lost the number of a friend of mine in 2016, where I told him in 2016, when Bitcoin was under $1,000, it will go to $10,000 and to $20,000 and to $50,000. He called me crazy. Now look what happened. Yes, yeah, almost 10 years later. So here, one of the reasons why people believe that around $160,000, $180,000 we are going to top out is here this big logarithmic growth curve that is forming a resistance. And every single bull run, we have hit this resistance and got rejected. So if you go over here, they are basically also over here, 2017, 2021. And now they're expecting the same thing to be happening in 2025, that we get rejected from there back to the downside. I don't think so. So of course here, I have to mention this chart. The API is not working anymore. That's why the price is at $108,000 stuck. So just ignore that. You know, it's about where the regression curve is right now. So, and if we would hit this by December, it would be $170,000 where we should hit this, and then basically start the bear market. Again, I don't believe that this is going to happen. The next thing that everybody's looking at is Fibonacci extensions. So the here, the next one, the 3.618, is usually one where bull markets are stopping. That is at $140,000. So we can jump a little bit above that and get a wick and get here into the exit area that I have pointed out. Don't interpret this wrong right now. I will take profit when we get to $150,000, but I will not close the whole position. You know, I would just take a little bit money out of there, which is the smart thing to do, guys. You know, you should ladder out when price is going up. So this is exactly what I'm planning to do here. Hey, yeah, greetings back to Dubai. Happy that I'm not living there anymore, actually. Yeah, so it is smart to take profit at a psychological number like $150,000 for Bitcoin. So, and this is also exactly what I'm going to do. So, but the majority thinks that that's it. You know, we only come up here, maybe a little bit higher, a wick, bam, that's it. Not gonna happen. Then the next logical reason that people have to argue we don't go higher than $150,000, $160,000 is here the weekly upward sloping channel. Also, this one would be topping out in October. Yeah, okay, if I extrapolate this now into December, let me extrapolate this into December. So here, so it would be here December, $185,000. So again, too low. Will not it will not stop there. So maybe we touch in December, $185,000, get rejected here once, come back a little bit, but this is not the end. We'll break above that. We're gonna wick above that channel the same way that we wicked here above, but it will be a way bigger wick. And you shouldn't forget this is a weekly chart. So it will happen really, really quickly once it's actually happening. So now, how do I know when the bull market actually will stop? So, and for that, I have pulled up a really, really old chart of mine where I had the perfect setup, how to get out, or how I knew when to get out in 2021. So we had in the 2021 bull run here this upward sloping, really stiff trend line going up, and that was the whole uptrend for that bull run. I knew when that line is broken, you have to start pay attention that this run might be over. And for that reason, I had here this yellow line that was supporting here the whole upwards move into the new all-time high, and I knew, okay, if that line gets broken and it's not holding support and we're not bouncing off from that and go back to the upside, the bull run is most likely over. So then I had here a final line from all the way from down here that was also supporting here that whole upwards move, and I knew, okay, if that line is broken, bear market is here. Now you have to think about this a little bit different, because I have now drawn again these three lines. The white one is again our bull market upwards trend line. As long as this line is holding, we keep pushing higher. When that line is broken and we are not bouncing off the yellow line, which would be currently at $94,000 approximately, the bull market is over. So, but do I believe that we go then all the way down here to $72,000 and below that? So because look here, when we broke that line over here, we went below that and basically had another 50% move to the downside. No, I believe the red line is the line in the sand from where we are starting to go sideways for a while before we reverse back to the upside. So along the red line will be the next bear market. So, and that is around $70,000. I don't believe that Bitcoin will go lower than that, especially if we go to potentially $200,000, $220,000, $240,000 in this bull run into next year, into Q1 or Q2. Yeah, I just don't see that, you know, because if you go from $240,000 down to $70,000, look here, there is a 70% correction to the downside. So I don't believe that we will see a bigger correction than 70% from a price level like that. So even from $200,000, it should be still like almost, it's still 67%, you know. So, okay, I have to go here a little bit more over here to get this more accurate. Yeah, 60%. So do you really believe that we will see a bigger correction than 60-70% in the next bear market with ETF money, institutions, MicroStrategy, all these other companies buying Bitcoin? I don't think so. I don't think that this is what's going to happen here in the next bear market. And that red line will be the line that I will use to start reaccumulating Bitcoin. But I will actually already do that starting from the yellow line. So once we're breaking below the yellow line, all the way down here, I will start laddering in into new Bitcoin positions. Long-term backs, of course, and accumulate for my spot back even more once we are hitting that red line here. If we, for some weird reason, actually crash below that, I would just buy more. You know, so that's my plan. So, but within the yellow and the red line, this is where I start buying back already. So why do I believe that why am I so convinced that we are going so much higher and that Q4 is not the final the final stage of this bull run right now? I don't believe so, because we have rate cuts again coming up. So we have this month a rate cut at the 29th of October. So, and there's a 95% chance that we actually get a 25 basis points rate cut. We have also in December an 83% chance to get again a 25 basis points rate cut. In January, we have a 53% chance, and here for a bigger rate cut, a 36.7% chance. So now if you add these two together, you are at 90.6%. Sorry, no, that's wrong. So this is 90.2%. 90.2% chance that we also in January see a rate cut. So 3 rate cuts, consecutive rate cuts. So do you think if we get 3 consecutive rate cuts that the market will just stop running? Because even though we have rate cuts, that makes no sense. Everything will keep running. The stock market, crypto, precious metals, everything will keep running to the upside. It will not stop. We have never seen this. You have never seen that when we have rate cuts and everything is in a roaring bull market, that from now to, basically between then and now, it just stops, you know, music stops and there's nothing happening anymore, you know, so, and everything just turns around. It's not happening, you know, and even in March, people still expect rate cuts here. So there is a 61% chance that also here people bank on a rate cut in March. So now think in which month we are. We are in October. So it means for the next 5 months, people expect consecutively a rate cut, which is absolutely insane. 5 months. 5 months, every single month a rate cut. Only in in November is no rate cut at all because Thanksgiving and blah, blah, blah. So the next reason why I believe that we will keep going up until at least Q1, potentially Q2 next year, is that I found here something. Oh, now it's actually gone. Here, President Trump is considering sending U.S. taxpayers up to $2,000 in stimulus checks using tariff revenue. So why is he doing that? Because the national U.S. debt is expanding at a rate where the U.S. cannot catch up with it anymore. So what do they need to do to catch up with that? First of all, they need to print like crazy money to actually then, with that money, cover the debt that they have. And I should have brought up that article where Trump actually said that this is his plan. He was like, if you cannot catch up to it, you have to start outpacing it. So, and that means there's only one way how he can outpace the growth of the debt, and that is by printing more money. So more money gets injected into the capital markets, which does, what does that cause again? Again, a crazy run across all markets, because people have, again, more money to spend than they should have. So then, where's the stimulus check coming from? So the stimulus check is coming from the U.S. tariffs that Trump has in place. So, and he says that he is giving back people approximately, only U.S. of course, $2,000 in stimulus checks, and they should see that as like a dividend payment. You see here, asked about the size of the proposed rebate checks, Trump said that his team was thinking about maybe $1,000, $2,000, but it's more to $2,000. Trump talked about the U.S. debt. How big is it right now? So we know how big it is. It's $30.48 trillion. So, but here, let's see here. Could Trump really redistribute tariff revenue to U.S. citizens? Sharing tariff revenue with U.S. citizens in the form of rebate checks, as mentioned by Trump in his interview with OAN, would require the approval of Congress. Back in July, Republican Senator Hawley of Missouri tried to pass a bill, the American Worker Rebate Act, to ensure U.S. citizens receive stimulus checks from tariff revenue, like President Trump proposed. My legislation would allow hardworking Americans to benefit from the wealth that Trump's tariffs are returning to this country, he said in his statement this summer. So now, let's see. So here you see this has yet to pass Congress. It is unclear whether the bill will receive enough support in the currently very divided Congress, which this week failed to avert a government shutdown. So, but Trump came also out this week and said he will do everything what he can, that people will get these stimulus checks out of the tariff revenue. So what happened the last time when we had stimulus checks coming in? So the last time was here on the 11th of April. So I'm here on a weekly chart. So I'm like 2 days off here in 2020 during COVID. Look at the exponential growth of Bitcoin during that run. So if we go all the way to the all-time high, it's 844%. So an 8.4x to the upside. So do I expect that we go now 8.4x up? Again, no, that would be way too much because the last time we were here around $8,000 when that happened, and we went then here to $64,000. Now we're at $124,000 or $125,000, but how high do I think that we can go? We could go here with stimulus checks to $233,000, $234,000, something like that. I think that this is definitely in the cards for us when stimulus checks are coming back. So if they're not coming back, then I still believe that Bitcoin could top out with all the rate cuts around $190,000, $220,000. With stimulus checks, it will go a little bit higher, and of course, altcoins will also pump like crazy in that time. You know, so you're gonna see a bull run like in 2021 again, where you wake up and you see some coins, even Link at some point was up like 50% in a single day. You know, you wake up, you open the chart, and everything is just crazy in double digits up, and some coins even triple digits. So now, on the shorter time frames, what's happening right now with Bitcoin? Because I know a lot of you guys want also new trade setups. I know you, my little gremlins here, my little trading gremlins, what you want. Sorry, all that speaking, I had to drink something quick. So here, the previous all-time high is still acting as resistance, as you can see. Yesterday, we went slightly above that, all the way up to $125,800 approximately. Now we are knocking on that level again. So if we are able to flip this level today and go above that, the golden ratio here, the 1.618, 1.5, $130,700, $135,200 approximately, will be the next logical target. I gave you yesterday again a trading setup, so you could be already still in that and take this whole ride to the upside. Now, here, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So we have now hit twice in the last 30 minutes the target again. I told you guys yesterday you could re-enter this here if you are that risk adverse and trade this back to the upside. I said I'm not doing that. I, regardless of that, opened earlier a small trade. I just tried to see now. Oh, I don't have that open anymore. I still want to show it to you guys. If I can log in here without that, I need now my two-factor and whatnot. Then yeah, I'm in there. Yeah, so I'm not up a lot. It's just a small position, but I thought like I start growing some of my Bitcoins that I have. Yeah, so here, wait, I show it to you guys. Let me just switch here to the main camera that you can actually see that. So here, I'm up 5.28% on that trade. And you can see I went in at $123,600. So pretty close. Yeah, so basically $1,000 above the entry here on that chart, you know. So because I wanted confirmation. My confirmation came in when we went here above that, above here $123,400. So that was the level that I was looking at. And I was okay here, strong bounce. So and that's basically here. This is the candle here, that green candle where I entered this trade. And now I'm riding this to at least $135,000 that position. So you would be still not too late if you also want to enter this, but use low leverage. I'm not using crazy leverage on that. So I'm using 12x leverage. And why 12x? Because if I would actually drop here 8% to the downside, I would be below $115,000 roughly. So if you want to take trades with me together, guys, then don't forget to sign up on BLOFIN. Also, the trading group is back. I just posted a trade earlier in the trading group. You get only into the trading group if you have a BLOFIN account and signed up with my link. So you get up to $5,000 also here in future bonuses and welcome bonuses. On top of that, it's non-KYC. You should definitely go and check that out. And there is a link in the description how you can sign up for that trading group, but only if you have a BLOFIN account, guys. You need to send my team your UID, and only if we verified your UID, you will be added to the trading group. And just as a reminder, in that group, we take $500 to $10,000, but now in that case, I got interrupted for 2 months, and I was at $1,800. I'm starting from $1,800, but you can start from 500, doesn't matter. I will help everybody to reach $10,000. So, and that will be happening this time fairly quickly, I think, because everything is just going up like crazy. Now, on the MDX Algo scalp gradients, here we have some pinkish red candles. And we are above the daily open and the weekly open, which is anyway today the same thing. But this is leading to that we are seeing here potentially in the next coming hours a stronger push to the upside. So also here the reactor indicator has slightly cooled down already and could be also leaning more to one final push here to the upside in direction of $130,000. It could go just pretty close to it and reject from there. But I think that $130,000 is here the next logical target for Bitcoin and is just 5.5% roughly away from the current price. So and then you see here things turning down again overall on the chart. So because on the lower time frames, everything has cooled off already, everything from the 4 hours and below, and is ready to go basically one level higher. Also here on the liquidation levels, the overall trading idea has not changed for me, that we will come down here at least to the 50 moving average and most likely will wick below the 50 moving average. So right now at that trajectory, how the 50 is going up here, in 8 seconds, yeah, we can just wait here 5 seconds now to get the next plot on the 50 moving average, but it will be around 118,000. Yeah, there it is, $118,300. So not really surprised. So if we keep that trajectory here like this, then by tomorrow we are at $120,000. So then a wick would roughly go to $180,000 here and not lower than that once we hit now higher levels. So I actually need to adjust this here now a little bit. So because here, that is most likely how this is going to play out. So and then the first target for me would be $119,000. So if we go lower, then it will go briefly below the 50 moving average before we then turn around and go once again to the upside. So also here on the liquidation heat map, we see something similar unfolding. The liquidity on long positions is moving to the upside, getting more concentrated here to the upside right now. You see here at $117,000 to $121,500, there is that huge cluster currently concentrated. And this will, at some point here in between, give Bitcoin support to bounce back to the upside. So most likely we will not see that the Bitcoin price will just crash through that and go all the way down into $115,000. It will go briefly below 120, 119, 18, something like this, and then turn around from there back to the upside. Now, the Bitcoin dominance is finally pulling back here a little bit to the downside. Where did I move? I'm still in Phuket. You know, I'm just at a different place now, and soon again at a different place, like in a month or something. So I'm just temporarily here. So to answer that chat really quickly. So here on the Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance is finally moving to the downside. We see some altcoins reacting to that. The overall altcoin market is definitely green here today. When you look at this here. So ASTER exploding because we also have a Binance listing. BNB exploding. So we have here a lot of basically everything in green. Only 2 coins here cooling down today, but everything else in green. Also here on my other list, most of the coins are green. You know, so there's almost no red on it because the dominance is going down, and also the total free market cap is pushing to the upside. Again, if you want to trade altcoins, guys, most altcoin trades that I do are happening on Bybit. You get up to $30,000 in deposit bonuses and welcome bonuses if you go to Bybit. And also here, I will come up with something special with Bybit together in the near term. I have to speak to them. They were crazy busy with token 2049, but we are also cooking something up. So you should definitely make sure that you have here a Bybit account because there is something coming. So then the total free market cap is trying to break here past the prior all-time high of $1.18 trillion. So these wicks usually get filtered to the upside. It also works the same way to the downside. Wicks usually get always filled. So and here the target would be $1.18 trillion, but I believe that we will scratch then at $1.2 trillion once we are past that. So and this will happen at some point this week. Some point this week we're going to do that. Ethereum, I had shown you here a couple months back. This massive bullish pennant here that has now broken out to the upside. I just wanted to show you that to remind you of the target. The target is $7,640. You are not too late to that trade, guys. You are not too late. Of course, it would have been better if you would have entered like $1,000 earlier, because that makes like 20% difference. But even from here, you're still looking at 66% roughly to the upside from the current price. Now, if you would have entered at the breakout, let's say here, you would have looked at 107% roughly, so 40% more. So, but did you really miss the overall big move here? No, the really big move has not happened yet. It has not happened yet, guys, the really big move here. The really big move is still coming, and in my opinion, that big move will be happening when we're above $5,000. So once we are breaking here above $5,000, that level here, you're gonna get one crazy big monthly candle that could go straight past $6,000. So the really big move here did not happen yet, guys. Not happened yet. So you're not too late to this trade. So, and if you want to find a really good entry, one point would be here on the daily chart, $4,611, which I also pointed out yesterday. But, and here comes the but, the stochastic looks cooked to me. The RSI, not yet, but in 2-3 days will also look cooked. And then price will most likely be closer to $4,700, $800. But that opens up the potential that we will come down here for a pullback to $4,400, $4,300, something like that. So if you really want to squeeze like 5, 6, 7, 8%, you wait for that pullback first before you enter then that long-term position. So if you don't want to wait and you want to scale into it, then just do it once we cross $4,600. Not all your money, again. Don't put all your money into it and later say, Alex, I got liquidated. You know, you said I should go all in. No, you ladder in. You ladder in. You know, so you use here like 25% to get in here. And if it goes lower, then you add every time 10% of the total amount that you want to allocate into that position until it turns around. Here on the 4-hourly chart, one reason why I believe that Ethereum will see a move above $4,600 here in the coming days is that we are getting here soon a golden cross. Basically, with this current 4-hourly candle, it's cemented that we have that golden cross here. So another 4 hours and we have a golden cross. At that point, we should start moving above $4,614. So the last high here on the 4-hourly chart, local high, which is funny enough also more or less a W pattern. So look at this. We have here a W pattern. So now, if you look at the technical target for this W pattern, why is this red here? $4,755 would be the target of that. So that is another scalp trade that you can open. So I would open 2 trades here, guys. I would open a long-term position to trade the overall bullish pennant that I've just shown you, that triangle, to $7,600. And I would use scalp trades to add more to that position, to make the position bigger. So, so here you have now the next trade set up here for a short-term trade on the 4-hourly chart. So this can happen within the next 2-3 days, where you make here 3.5%. You use 10x, 20x leverage on that, 35, 70% on that position. Let's say you trade with maybe 2 Ethereum. So you make here 0.7, 1.4 Ethereum that you can then add to your bigger position as margin to keep building this and make it bigger to generate more profit on that position overall. Then Solana is now above $231. So if you had a stop loss in place and you did not take profit here, leave your stop loss at around $227 and let it run. Because also here things are looking like, not only on the 12-hourly chart, but I think also on the 4-hourly chart, that we will see a break in direction here of $247. So if you want to squeeze here again the last bit out of that overall trading setup that I had given here from all the way down $218, you're still looking here from current price levels around 6% that you can make here, which is good enough, you know. So this is not a scalp, that's an intraday trade or a day trade. 6%, absolutely fine. So if you want to play it safe, you wait for a break here above $235. I also said it yesterday. If you want to be safe before you enter this, but then you will make a little bit less than 6%. But it's not much, you know. It will be still like, if you round it up, it's still 6% roughly. Because here the indicators are definitely telling us that we are potentially going higher. And the RSI is only at 60%. The stochastic is about to print the buy signal again, and the MACD is just pushing sideways. And could ramp up here again with more distinct buying pressure soon when we break here above $235. Then hype came back here into that ascending triangle, but we are running soon out here of time to break this to the upside. So this has to happen now in the next 8 to 12 hours to get that breakout. So if it's not happening, then most likely it will just wobble sideways out of it to the downside, and then it gets a crazy scam candle to the upside at one point. So right now, like yesterday, I told you guys I was not interested in trading that, still not interested in trading that. There might be some better opportunities here right now. Oh, wow, $2.12? Oh, I need to look at my position. Oh, and I also just saw something paid on my card. What was that? So just give me a second, and then auto cashback, authorization complete. Authorization. Oh, okay, that was something from earlier. That did not happen right now. I was thinking this just happened. So let's see here. Yeah, so here I want to show you another position. So that's one of my ASTER positions, not all of them. It's just one. That's currently up $1,200 roughly. So why is ASTER going crazy? 1,300, 400. So now ASTER is going absolutely insane. Almost $1,500 right now. So why is ASTER breaking out like that? Because oh no, ASTER just listed on Binance. Did it? Yeah. So 10 minutes ago, ASTER got listed on Binance. That's why it's breaking out like that. So a better play than hype would be, for example, still BNB. So you could still enter BNB right now, while it's in price discovery, and make here another 17%. But you have to have quite a loose stop loss, you know. So a stop loss would be here for me from current price down here, yeah, like a 5% stop loss. So, which is fine. That is a 1 to 3 risk reward trade. Absolutely fine if you want to do this, you know, on a coin like that. But also DOT here, $4.24. Once it breaks that line, it will shoot to $5 really quickly, because this here is a contraction in a falling wedge. So, and these contractions have huge breakouts usually. So you have here something similar. Look here, over there. Same thing. Price got contracted to the downside. Massive breakout here to $4.89. So something similar will happen here again in a matter of like a couple candles where you see, yeah, DOT jumping to the upside like crazy. Now, the next one is Aptos. So Aptos is moving down here as expected. Yesterday you had a chance to enter at $5.15. So if you missed that, I think you might get lucky a second time. If not, I would start laddering into a position from $5.22 approximately. $5.22, but I still believe we could potentially go a little bit lower. When I look here on a 12-hourly chart or even on the daily chart, it looks like that we could hit the box. So I would not remove my limit orders here. And I also don't do that. I leave my limit orders where they are right now for that trade setup. And then trade the reversal here to $6.33. Now, ASTER. Whoa, ASTER is going crazy with the Binance listing. With the Binance listing. So we were here at $2.14. I have made earlier a tweet. Let me see if I can pull this up here, that tweet, and then I move it into the other screen. There it is. So here, ASTER. So I made here a tweet and said, take out the orange marked high and we go for a new all-time high on ASTER fast. And that was just before I knew that ASTER was listing on Binance today. So just before. Oh, sorry. I'm still here on the full screen. So here. There. Take out the orange marked high and we go for a new all-time high on ASTER really fast. Whoa, now the chat is gone. Yeah, I know you cannot see the screen. So I'm back. So now ASTER. Sorry, I think you also missed here Aptos. So here again, Aptos really quick, $5.22, $5.15 green box. That's what we are looking for. You know, so based on the higher time frames, because again, look here on the daily. Daily looks cooked on the indicators. Looks like it comes down, makes the possibility really big to hit the green box. So and then you long that and trade the reversal to the upside. DOT here. I don't know if you saw DOT. So DOT here. Contraction trying to break here $4.24. Once it breaks that, we shoot to the upside. Now ASTER. ASTER is the coin of the day that we want to talk about. So here $2.10 roughly, or $2.11 is what I'm looking at right now. So once that level is broken, look at this here. That is a key resistance level right now. So the prior all-time high is basically a deviation above that. So once we're breaking $2.11, ASTER will shoot massively to the upside. So who is selling right now? Why we are going down on ASTER or have here this huge indecision candle right now? Because a lot of people made crazy profits on ASTER, especially people that have money on Binance, and they are offloading right now. And I'm pretty sure if I would go and look at the team wallets of ASTER, I would also find there some offloading, you know, so right now of some of the coins. So, but once they are done with that, we're gonna get here a really, really nice continuation into higher levels for ASTER. So I'm not concerned about where ASTER is right now. Give it a couple of hours, and I believe that we will be past $2.11 and move here into way, way higher levels. So now, was here something else interesting? Yeah, Sui. Sui fighting again with $3.64, but now we have also here on the 4-hourly chart a W pattern shaping up. So, and when $3.64 is broken, which is basically around the corner, enter this time. You know, we have here the low, we have here a higher low. Now it's time to enter this. You are not too late. You're not too late for this trade to $3.89 and $4.24. From current here, from $3.64, you look here at the 16% move to the upside. So now I want to look a little bit I want to look here a little bit into the chat, what's going on here. And thank you so much, guys. We have here over 100 people for most of the stream, all the time here. Just smash up the like button a little bit more, guys. Smash up the like button, and that even more people will see the stream here. But we are doing really, really well for a 40-minute stream. We are doing really, really well. I will maybe stick around another 2-3 minutes, and then I will go, because also my girlfriend is coming here any moment, and I need to open the door for her. So yeah. So yeah, see here $2.10. Now I think it's time that we go above that. That looks really, really good here right now. So write me, yeah, ship, yeah, give me some coins that I can have a look at while I'm going back and forth here with ASTER. So which one do I gonna use? Let's see here. Do I have ship here? No ship on this one. Oh, Injective also doing well. So if I don't have ship here on my list, which I don't, then I know somebody asked yesterday here, Uni. Uni looks pretty similar to many other coins that I see right now, here with the W pattern. Break $8.37, and it's going to send to $9.57, and here $11.33. So here basically from here, $8.38, 35% move to the upside. Especially with Ethereum running, I would not neglect Uniswap right now. Definitely not. XPL, I can have a look at XPL really quick. I think it's here on this list. Yeah. XPL looks horrible. So here, my new entry would be in that accumulation zone down here. But it's a risk, guys. You know, it's a risk to do that down here. But this is what I would be doing. So, but my exit zone, I would just add another exit zone. I would leave that one up there. But I would down here, take the first profit at $1.49. So if you would enter here at current levels, you are looking already at like a 60 to 68% move to the upside to $1.47, $1.49. Yeah, but that we came back below 90 cents after we just had broken back above $1 earlier this week. Is not really bullish to me, you know. So I know there's a lot of FUD going on. There's like ex-members of Blast in the team and stuff like that, you know, and Blast was scamming. So yeah, I personally I did not touch this project at all for now. I might do it when we break here 95 cents. Then maybe I open a small position once I see that we are breaking out of that accumulation zone here that we are currently in. So, but for spot, this is, I think, a good opportunity to enter. But you should still have a stop loss. And my stop loss would be starting at 80 cents. Below 80 cents here. If we go below that line, yeah, 79. Let it be 79 cents. 79, 78 cents. That is where I would cut this position. And then lean back and see what's happening. So I can do here, let's see. Okay, I see here Cardano. A lot of people want Cardano. So let me have a look here at Cardano, and then I will be most likely leaving. Let's see here, Cardano. I know that I have Cardano here on that list. I think it's here on that list. It's definitely here on that list. Yeah, there, Cardano. Yeah, again, contraction. Same thing. You see it across the board, and also W pattern. I see also W pattern here. Whoop. Yeah, W pattern. A little bit distorted because of that low is lower than the previous one. That should be reverse. But it would still qualify as a distorted W pattern. So then here. Here, that is still a falling broadening wedge that you have here. So contraction, break 86 cents, and it will start sending to the upside. Expect something similar happening like over here. A move like that is what I would be looking at. So that should get us close to like 95 cents. And taking, yeah, basically taking out that local high. And maybe even that one here at, yeah, that is just at 95.3 cents. So I think that will be the target once we're breaking 86 cents. So which is like an 8% move roughly, I would say. Yeah, a little bit over 10%. Yeah, a little bit over 10%. 95, yeah, just over 10% to the upside. So that's what I would be looking at. I will do quick AVAX, but then I'm really leaving. Oh wow, there ASTER is going now. So definitely go back in a moment to ASTER. AVAX. Again, same thing. You are not too late to this trading setup overall that I'd given here from $29. So we are roughly 3% up from that, but the overall setup is almost 24%. Here, wait for a break, $30.80 roughly. That's where I would enter this for the continuation trade. So now let's go back to ASTER because I'm making a lot of money there right now. Yeah, so if this closes here in 8 minutes above $2.11, it will keep sending. You're gonna see a crazy pump candle to the upside. And you can forget about indicators. This is now spot driven from Binance. So yeah, so indicators, when you have like Binance hype behind the project, forget about indicators. You know, the only thing that you can really follow is in that moment the MACD. You know, so in the MACD is not really doing much right now, just yet. But here it's already ramping up, you know, on the 30 minutes chart. Let's see a 5 minutes chart. Yeah, nothing really happening just yet. But believe me, if we close here in 7 minutes, this 15-minute candle above $2.11, we're going to keep sending and the MACD will ramp up massively, massively. So guys, I'm leaving. My girlfriend just messaged me. She's on the way back. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you got a lot of value out of that. I will be back definitely tomorrow, so make sure that you're not missing out on tomorrow's episode. And don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you with more money tomorrow.